Are we live? Okay, we are live. Okay, so hello and welcome to the special episode of the Battleground Bengal. So before I start the show, let's bring a little bit attention to one of the issues that concerning our country at the moment, the coronavirus crisis. And since election is one of the ways to bring the attention, so let's just for a minute talk about the election before the crisis, before we talk to the election. So India recorded over 4 lakh new COVID cases and 3,523 deaths in the biggest 24-hour spike since the start of the pandemic. So while it might be victory for the political parties, so if anyone watching the program, I would appeal to refrain from the victory marches and celebrations to stop the spread. So can everyone use the mic? So just joining us is Deep Halder. He's the executive editor at India Today and the author of the book Bengal 2021. Thank you, Deep, for joining us. We also have Advocate Neil Basu from the TMC, Shuvajit Sarkar from the Sanjukta Morcha, and Dr.Ayush Arun, who will be joining us shortly from the BJYM. So thank you so much for everyone taking your time and coming on the show. So let's start with Deep. Where did we all go wrong in the exit polls? We predicted something. We thought it will be a narrow margin, a neck-to-neck fight, but today TMC practically clean. Where did we went wrong there, and what's your the biggest takeaway from this election?
Exit polls often go wrong. Yeah, I mean, this is not the first time exit polls have gone wrong, but this time I think most of those who did exit polls went horribly off the mark. There were some people who sort of suggested a BJP win close to 200 seats, which now the TMC has won. So it's just the opposite of what was predicted. Others kind of said that it's going to be a neck-to-neck election. That also didn't happen. I think where are we right now? The BJP is at 78 and the TMC is at 215. I think that's the tally, if I'm not wrong, right now. So I don't know. I mean, sometimes you just read the ground wrong. I think this is one such case. It's not as if people didn't try. There were journalists from there were psephologists who were stationed in Bengal. They didn't just paradropped around the election. There were people who were stationed in Bengal for several months leading up to the elections, but even they could not get it right. So I think it's just one of those things. This is one election. I think the psephologists and many senior journalists did not have an idea of what's going to happen. But huge round of congratulations, I think, to the Banerjee General Party for this fantastic win.
Yeah. So what's your biggest takeaway before I move to Dr. Ayush Arun? What's your biggest takeaway from this election, Deep? If one takeaway you have to.
You're asking me?
Yes, Deep. What's your biggest takeaway from this election?
The biggest takeaway, of course, is everybody's takeaway. Mamata Banerjee remains a formidable political force. I think the BJP vastly underestimated her, overestimated the gains they have made. I mean, it's all very fine to say that BJP moved from 3 to 78, 3 in 2016 to 78, 79, whatever the final tally is going to be. It was a hard fight, but I think she remains a formidable political force in Bengal. And I think the opponents underestimated her.
Okay. So Dr. Ayush Arun, from 10.16% from 3 seats to around, at the moment, I think it's around 75, if I'm not wrong, the latest count. Uh, BJP can take this as a consolation prize, but also with uh, what the prediction was initially was 200 plus. So why did your prediction went wrong this time? And what's your takeaway from this election?
First of all, you will have to see this election in totality. It was not only election of West Bengal, but it was election of four other states as well. So, if you see the election in totality, we have retained Assam, we have formed the government in Pondicherry, and we have done pretty well in Tamil Nadu. And yes, Bengal, we have not lived up to the expectations, but definitely from 3 to 75, it's a big journey, and we have come this long way. Uh, Last time we were something around less than a 15% vote share, and today we have a 38% vote share, which is a big success in itself. Definitely, we have not formed the government, but yes, we have done the best which we could have, and the rest is up to the people. People have chosen Mamata Banerjee, and we congratulate our co-panelists from TMC for getting a comfortable win in Bengal. Definitely, we'll work harder. We will play the role of a responsible opposition, and we hope in times to come we'll strengthen our base in Bengal.
Yeah. One more question before I go to Advocate Neil. So, did by any chance Amit Shah read the wave wrong? The entire BJP machinery was in Bengal. It was campaigning hard, except the northern parts of Bengal and the Purulia sector. We haven't seen BJP getting any strongholds, any of the other regions.
See, partly it's true that yes, we have not performed well in the regions of Jungle Mahal and in the regions of, but we have done quite well in North Bengal. But it's not that our leader read it wrong. The dynamics of a state elections are completely different than a central election. So we will have to see. We will do an introspection up to actually where we did wrong. But we take it as a consolation that we have gained 75 seats, and next time we'll perform better. If you are saying that we have read something wrong, we did not read the writing on the wall, then it will be wrong. We did our best, but it's up to the people.
Okay. So, Advocate Neil, firstly, congratulations for the victory. Though we have heard, the recent news comes in that Mamata Banerjee has lost her seat in Nandigram and she's going to the court to challenge that. But congratulations on the victory. It, uh, let's first talk about the vote share. TNC is able to maintain the vote share, increase, in fact, the seat number. What was the biggest factor that played for you, in spite the anti-incumbency wave?
Firstly, thank you very much. And it was something which the TMC expected. In our internal survey, we were very much that we will get over 200 seats. That was, we were very much confident about that. On the 29th, when the exit polls came up, we were quite sure that numbers that were being shown in the exit poll, we will go beyond numbers. It was quite an expected result from the Trinamool Congress, All India Trinamool Congress, and key factor, the X factor that played in this elections, that is 2021 assembly elections, is the thing that this time our internal survey said, and we got a feedback from our internal team that most of the votes that were to be given to the All India Congress or to the Communist Party had came up to the ballot of Trinamool Congress. Why this came up? Because many congressmen did not accept the Sanjukta Morcha. Even there were unrest among the CPIM in Bengal. They did not accept. They did not show up. But in their mind, somewhere, some CPIM people, some CPIM comrades could not vote for Congress. Similar vice versa happened. Some Congress voters could not vote for CPM. The main thing that played in this election was a vote against the fascist. a vote against BJP. The main motto that played in this election was no vote to BJP. This no vote to BJP gave rise to such a situation, and today almost TMC is the countings are not full in many of the assembly. The countings are not full yet. Results are to come out. So over 215 seats, Trinamool is leading in almost 216, and I think this was something that is expected. We are very much our first agenda forming the government will be to maintain this COVID situation, to control this COVID situation, which is going out of control day by day. And today, it is in the history of Bengal that the people of Bengal mandated for their own girl, that is Srimati Mamata Banerjee, and of course, it is something that we all, people of Bengal look up to, and today it is proved, because in democracy it is the mandate that shall have mandate of the people that shall be given the main leverage. So we are very much confident that in the third tenure of Trinamool Congress, there something new will come. And another point I want to point it out: many public policies have been taken up by the TMC government in the last 10 years, starting from Khaddo Sathi to Jubosri to Konnasri to Shastro Sathi, which played a great impact not only in rural Bengal but in urban areas also. If you come to urban area, Kolkata, in Kolkata,
I think we lost them.
great mandate towards itself.
Okay. I'll come back to you once your internet is stable. Let me ask Shubhajit the question about the Sanjukta Morcha. It was what happened to this election, where what the left is completely swept clean right now from Bengal, and the lines with the Congress didn't seem to work at all.
Firstly, good evening, everyone. Hope you all are fine and healthy, because we all have to fight this pandemic together. Because we are in a very crucial time. Yeah, we have been defeated badly in this state, in Bengal. Sanjukta Morcha only could win 2 seats. That also ISF got. The left got 0 seats. The Congress also got 0 seats. And BJP has opened its account with good numbers, that is 75, and Trinamool Congress has done a very good result, getting almost 215 seats, I guess. 215.
Yeah.
215 seats. So we have already said that before
16 rather.
216. We have already said earlier also that exit polls will not click all the time. Sometimes it might click. Like exit polls had predicted a different number. It even had gave seats to us, which we didn't get. But the main thing is that some characteristics which we have drawn from this election initial is very difficult to draw conclusions at this moment. It will take time. But one thing is very clear, that the people of Bengal have voted against BJP. Now they have found out this way that Trinamool Congress is a better alternative to BJP than left or Sanjukta Morcha, and they have found it in this manner that the Trinamool Congress party is a formidable opposition to the so-called BJP force which is operating throughout the country. Here in the state, they have opted for Trinamool. Like they have opted for the people of Kerala have opted for us in state of Kerala. In Assam also we have got 1 seat. In Tamil Nadu we have got seats, but in Bengal we have done badly. Another thing which we can draw from this election is that there is no idea of committed vote bank. The idea which existed earlier, the idea of committed vote bank, this person is left, this person is right. This idea is it has faded away almost. Very less number of people can be considered as committed voters in this time period. Earlier, which we used to see, that we can say this is left vote percentage, this is Trinamool's vote percentage, this is BJP's vote percentage, whatever you call it. This idea is not operating, because in 2019 we have seen a huge landslide victory for the BJP at the central level. But at the same time, in the recent assembly elections, we are saying that BJP is not doing well. it might be, we cannot draw it in this way. It is all about the fact that throughout the nation they are against BJP. That means only they are voting for BJP. That's it. I think people are voting on a election, like if it's a national election, they are seeing on national perspective. If it's a state election, they are seeing on a state perspective issue. So I think that is a important thing. And in the recent times, the BJP led central government, they have passed many laws. They have passed many laws which is creating problems in our lives, like be the farm laws which they have passed in the recent past, or the NRC, NPR, CA. That things, I think they have played an important part in the election. And also, like the price of cylinders, it has gone up. The price of petrol, diesel. I think these things, these issues, and also the people of Bengal, they wanted that a party like BJP should not come to power, or should not get a ample of amount of mileage in the state. And that is the main reason. It is more of anti-BJP than of pro-Trinamool, as far my analysis is saying. And another thing is that, like this campaign, like Trinamool Congress has done, like Bangla, Bangali, like they are putting all this community-based politics. Like earlier, these things are not there in West Bengal. Like community based, like linguistic based, like coming someone from his like say they're saying Borgi, outsider. These things have become new trends in politics of Bengal, this identity politics. Now this is playing an important role, which we have seen, which got reflected in the assembly elections also. Like people of Bengal wanted someone who is from Bengal. I as a citizen of this state, as a citizen of India, as a voter of Bengal, this much analysis I can draw from this particular election.
Okay, I'll come to Dr. Ayush Arun for a moment, because he had some points about this. So his point is, this vote is about, Shubhajit mentioned that this vote is about the central policies that BJP institutes. This vote is about against that. It's against those policies of the Prime Minister. That's why BJP lost this election.
No, see, I would disagree to this notion, because had it been a vote against the Prime Minister, or had it been a vote against the central government, then we would not have formed a government in Assam and Pondicherry, and we would not have performed decently in Tamil Nadu. See, we have lost West Bengal. The reason behind it, which I think, is that the prominence of cult politics, of identity politics in India. See, the people who voted for Mamata Banerjee in this election were the same people who voted for Narendra Modi in 2019. And again in 2024, you will see the same people who will again vote for Narendra Modi as PM, and they might again vote for Mamata Banerjee as CM. So it's the cult politics, it's the identity politics which has taken the center stage in Indian politics. It's not about these issues, because had these been the real issues, then we would not have won in Assam, we would not have formed a government in Pondicherry. And I would also agree to my counterpart from the left party, who says that the dynamics of a state elections are quite different from the dynamics of a central election. And also, the notion which the TMC created in these elections was very toxic about people. They are saying that the PM is an outsider, the Home Minister is an outsider. See, these notions could have been avoided, but then it seems as of now that it is because of these notions that the TMC is forming a government in Bengal. But people of Bengal have also blessed us with quite a decent amount of seats. And therefore, this time we'll play the role of a responsible opposition. And next time, I assure you, we'll improve our team.
No, I have something to add. One thing.
Okay, Shivajit. Okay, go. Yeah, please go.
Can I?
Yeah, please go.
Yeah, I think another point is that, like, all the corrupted people from the Trinamool Congress, they joined the BJP. That might be a reason for the BJP's poor results, because if you see Lok Sabha elections, then Lok Sabha elections, BJP was leading almost in 120 seats in the assembly wise, if you see. So all the people who have who are associated with corruption in Trinamool Congress, now they are jumping to BJP. I think that is an important point also. And another point is that now how will the common people trust those people who are already made corruption in Trinamool and they are joining BJP? I think that is an issue. And another issue is that yes, obviously identity politics is a big issue. Like identity politics is all about like they're saying Bangla nijer meke chai. This is a very important thing. It's a very this thing needs to be kept in mind. Like Bangla nijer meke chai. Others are not daughters of Bengal. Only she is the daughter of Bengal. This is a important issue, and they have capitalized it in a good way, in a very good manner. Like they have been able to capitalize it and won the election. But in the recent times also, in the just few hours back, we have seen and Mamata Banerjee is getting defeated in Nandigram. So on the one hand, we are seeing that Bangla Nijer Meke Chai Trinamool Congress getting 215 to 16 seats in the assembly elections. On the other hand, the leader of the party, the Bangla Nijer Me, that Nijer Me, who they are considered to be as Nijer Me, who they are terming as Nijer Me, she is getting defeated. That is also important point.
Okay, so I'll come to Deep for a moment. Deep, accusation of polarization and regional identities being created. What's your take on this entire issue? And one more point, how much of the role of Prashant Kishore do you see in this victory?
Well, a lot. Second point first. Well, a lot of credit must go to Prashant Kishore. I mean, he got it bang on. There were people who were doubtful of the BJP's win in Bengal, for instance. Even they were saying that BJP would definitely go above 100, would reach almost 120. Anywhere between 110 to 120, 25 even. But Prashant Kishore not only did he fail for polls that before the results came out that and before even polling started that BJP won't cross double digit. I mean BJP would not only lose in Bengal and Mamata Banerjee will win. He went on to say that BJP will not cross double digit. I mean that kind of confidence. And then finally when the results came out, everybody was shocked in Delhi. I can say, and even I'm sure some people in Kolkata must have or Bengal must have gotten very shocked. That kind of confidence, but he's bang on. So and this is not his first victory. I mean, he's worked with Mr. Modi in the past. He's worked with Arvind Kejriwal. He's worked in Tamil Nadu. He's worked in Bihar. He has lost some. He has won more. So I think he has a pulse. Whatever it is he does, I think he does pretty well. So this victory, I'm sure. Of course, Mamata Banerjee is in Trinamool Congresses, but Prashant Kishore should also be credited to keep the messaging right throughout. Though he is quite humble. I've heard his interviews. My channel also interviewed him just now. He's quite humble, and he says that he's a political aide. He doesn't even call himself a strategist. But I think a lot of credit goes to Prashant.
And was the first question about regional identities and polarization that
Regional identity. Well, I was skeptical whether it would work, but it did. I mean, the fact that somehow the point was made again and again about Hindutva 2.0 or subaltern Hindutva, a party that is often branded by its opponents as a Manuvadi party, as an essentially upper caste construct outside Bengal. In Bengal, sort of has appealed to a large section of Dalits and got a large chunk of Dalit votes both in 2019 and even this time, though not all of it this time. But somehow to be able to convince the SCs, STs, OBCs that to come under a larger Hinduism umbrella. But I mean that I thought was a very interesting development in this election. But somehow that got overshadowed by the regional identities. Bengaliness became more important than Hinduness. So I thought that's a smart strategy that worked. I mean, we can sit here and criticize it, but obviously it got a Trinamool Congress to 2017. So whatever makes you win.
Yeah. So, Advocate Neil, I'll come to you for a moment and bring those charges and allegations against regional identities that you have created to create this fragmentation to win the election. That's one. And the second question I have is, did Mamata Banerjee was very overconfident in plunging into the Nandigram seat as we have seen she lost the seat? Was she overconfident that she will win the seat?
Actually, the in democracy we go by the mandate of the people. So one seat or two seat does not make any difference to us. And moreover, I can give you an updated news to in regard to this, that Srimati Mamata Banerjee is planning for approaching the court for recounting of the Nandigram seat that has been that Srimati Mamata Banerjee is predicting some conspiracy during the counting process, and regarding that district level meeting is being carried out by the election commission at this moment in the Purbo Medinipur district. The district meeting is being conveyed by under the leadership of district magistrate, and election commission is looking after the fact into the allegations that have been raised by the chief election agent of Srimati Mamata Banerjee. So at this moment we do not want to comment in this, because we will be approaching the honorable court very soon, maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow, and then only we can ascertain whether whether the counting was made in a proper and purposeful manner, or whether it was not been done. Moreover, if we go by the psephological calculations, you will find that the percentage of votes that TMC has got today in this election results, it is far more than the percentage of vote that TMC got in 2019. So there no question arises that an anti-incumbency role was played during these elections. There was not even a very less percentage of vote which went in favor of the BJP or in favor of the Sanjukta Morcha, because of the reason that anti-incumbency factor did not play a certainly did not play any role in this election. So it is very much evident, and I am very much confident that this, after the whole election results come out, it will be almost 270 to 218 seats. And I will like to point out another thing to you, that two seats elections will be held on two more seats, because in one of the seats one in Khorda state, in Khorda state, Kajol Sinha passed away. Unfortunately, he was our candidate. And another seat also, three seats. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Two seats. Candidates died before election, and in another seat in Khorda, the Trinamool Congress candidate has won, who has passed away.
Lost him due to the COVID. So this seat will come up. These results will come up, and we are very much confident that we will reach the T20. So it's always for the people, of the people, by the people. And if you go by the psephological calculation, it says that the mandate is in favor of Srimati Mamata Banerjee. It is in favor of All India Trinamool Congress. So there is no question arises as to our credibility, as to our functioning, as to forming of our cabinet. As soon as possible, we form the cabinet, and our single agenda presently is to maintain all COVID protocols and to enforce the COVID protocol in an effective, purposeful manner, so that the COVID situation is controlled in West Bengal, which has gone out of control for certain last 1 or 2 weeks. That is our main motto. We will support, we will be there and we will do as much as we can for the health workers, for the hospitals, for the nursing homes, to provide oxygen, to provide sanitizers. Vaccination is our main agenda. So we'll be looking after that. We will be going to plan out how to execute such vaccination in a proper and purposeful manner.
Okay, but you still didn't answer my question about TMC's of the panelist charges of TMC engaging in minority appeasement and creating regional fragmentation to win the election.
There is no question of minority appeasement, because if you kindly go through the statistical percentage of the votes that has been received by the TMC, it cannot be that only minority votes, TMC came into power by minority votes only. It cannot be. Go through the list, go through the percentage, go through the calculations.
I would like to join in here.
So, minority appeasement, no space of minority appeasement. No space.
Okay.
It is the public policy that has been adopted by the Mamata Banerjee government, that result of which is today's result. Today's result shows
Dr. Ayush
what done for the last 5 years.
Dr. Ayush had to come back.
Shows public policies that have been taken by last
Yeah,
5 years.
I would request my counterpart from the TMC to just relax. See, you have won the elections. Congratulations for your win. But see, every party has a formula. And if you see the formula of all opposition parties in the center, may it be the Samajwadi Party, may it be the RJD, may it be the TMC.
Like the formula of BJPs
But
to
Dr.
like
Ayush,
the
but
formula
BJP
of
has also
BJP
been
is
accused of Hindutva
bipolarization.
politics over
That
there as well.
formula of BJP is bipolarization. The formula of
Sir,
BJP
Mr.
is
Neil, I did not interrupt you. I did not
bring people
interrupt
from
you. Please
Delhi,
let
bring
me
people
speak
from
and put my
UP,
point
bring
forward.
people from Bihar, and cause a violence-like situation in
I
Bengal.
request
Neil, let
Ratnadeep
him
to
finish and
please.
I'll come back to you. Advocate Neil, I'll
People
come
are
back to
not.
you.
No, people
I'll
are
come back
not.
to you. I'll come back to you. Give him
Uh,
minute, I'll come
Miss-
back to you.
Mr. Neil, you have formed the government. Mr. Neil, you have formed the government. I congratulate you for that. But let us, please don't act like fascists.
Act like
Please
a
give
good
us a chance to speak.
act like a good opposition party. Should
Yeah,
take up
definitely we'll do our part. So
help
let me put my point forward.
the government,
Excuse me.
help the
Please mute
government
his
in
mic.
fighting
Yeah,
the COVID,
Advocate
help the
Neil,
government
just let him
fighting,
complete and I'll come back to you. I'll come back to you. I'll come back to you.
help the government in fighting the COVID, and to
Mr. Neil,
formulate a
could you just
national
listen to my point?
vaccination policy. Has
This
your
person is
government
not ready to
formulated a
hear me.
national vaccination policy? Why has not it been committed, made? Why a national vaccination policy is not there? What is the central
If
government
you
doing?
give me a time to reply, then I'll reply. Now, please let me
Kindly,
speak.
kindly.
Advocate Neil,
Is there
let
any
him reply
national
now. You have
vaccination
made
policy?
your fair share of allegations. Let him come and reply, then I'll come back to you. Give him a minute.
Okay. Okay, so Ratnadeep, see, every party has a formula of its own. What I was saying that the major political parties which are in the opposition in the center, they have adopted a policy of the majority of the minority votes and the minority of the majority votes. See, this formula works, and this formula does not work in some states. This formula did not work in Bihar, where the minority votes were divided by the AIMIM. But this formula for the TNC has worked in West Bengal, where the minority has voted one-sidedly for the TNC. Okay, TMC has won the elections, but if you see at the vote percentage, they have got 48% votes. So the 30% vote, the major chunk of this vote is coming from the minority community. You have to accept this fact. This is the truth. And you have got only minority, that is 18% of the Hindu votes. This is a reality. You have to accept this fact. Secondly, Mr. Neil is asking me about our role as a opposition party. See, if you look at the tweet which the Prime Minister has given recently, there he has mentioned that we will cooperate with the center, we will cooperate with the state government in the fight against COVID. We will never do a vendetta politics, sir. We'll help you. We'll help West Bengal to come out from this COVID situation, irrespective of the fact that West Bengal did not vote for us. It is our duty. And West Bengal has voted for us in the 2019 elections. If you look at, we have 21 MPs in the Lok Sabha. And I assure you, in 2024, we'll again win a sizable majority. We will win more than 20 seats in the 2024 elections. This is my reply to Mr. Neil.
Yeah, but Dr. Ayush, the argument also comes in your factor as well. The BJP has also been involved in Hindutva politics, whether it's with the chance of Jai Shri Ram, where it was polarized and it was brought as one of the key issues in the election as well, right?
I would like to disagree to you. See, because the major polarization politics was played by the TMC. When Prashant Kishore came in, Prashant Kishore told to his party, to the TMC, that see, you are starting from 30%. The BJP will have to start from zero. So it was right there when polarization politics started. And whenever there will be a polarization politics, there will be a counter polarization, due to which you saw slogans of Jai Sri Ram taking the center stage. And let me bring this to your notice that the slogan of Jai Sri Ram was not coined by the party, it was coined by the people. The 38% people which has voted for us and the 40% people which voted for us in 2019, they wanted Ram Rajya in Bengal. Unfortunately, it could not happen this time. But it does not mean that it will never come. One day we will succeed. See, we were zero, from zero to three, from 3 to 75. You see, we are a progressing curve. We will definitely form a government next time, I assure you.
Okay, so we are running out of time, so I'll just come to Shuvajit for a moment and take his closing remarks about what's the biggest lesson the left is taking away from this election and what's your future course of action? You're on mute. Hold on. Yeah, go ahead.
Uh, See, firstly, wait. Uh, Firstly, that the left has no representatives in the West Bengal Legislative Assembly. That doesn't mean that the left will not oppose the policies of the government, which the government will bring if it goes against the people. But at the same time, we can assure you this thing: like our red volunteers, they are fighting throughout the day. Be if you call them at 2 a.m. At midnight, then also they will pick up your call, and if you require oxygen, they will supply that. This is our volunteers what they are doing. Be it in the pandemic times, in the last year lockdown period, they have been providing relief to the common people. Now also in the second wave, they are doing the same thing. Now if the government needs to take the responsibility. Now the government is not only it's TMC's government, it's the government of West Bengal. If the government's chief minister, whoever becomes, be it Mamata Banerjee or anything else, that the chief minister will be everyone's chief minister. That person, that government will have to take the responsibility of all the people of Bengal. So in that task, if the government says that they want the help of the red volunteers, if they want the help of our activists who are working for the people, then we'll also always cooperate with the government, be it for the relief of the people. And secondly, uh, like I have mentioned, this election is a big setback for us, be it in electoral basis, but that doesn't mean that will weaken our movement against the anti-people policies of the government, be it the BJP government or be it the TMC government. We will always be in the streets. We'll always be in the streets, be it the youth issues, student issues, farm issues, or anything. Wherever we'll find that the people are in trouble, we with our very less what to say, like we don't have seats, but our less capacity, our organization, what we have, we will fight for the people. But at the same time, we will not act as a opposition who will only oppose government policies. Now if the government brings good policies which are for the people, we'll always welcome that and try to see that the policies are executed. And we want a betterment of the state, we want industrialization of the state, we want the youth of the state get jobs, we want the students get good education in the state, and they don't have to go out to other states for education.
Okay. Okay, I'll come to Deep. I know you had a very long day for the election. So I will just ask you this one last question.
Right.
This picture of Mamata Banerjee, as she's seen that she has fought single-handedly, whether with the entire cabinet ministry coming out here, the central government coming out here, prime minister coming, the CBI, the ED raids and all. She's seen as she has emerged as a strong leader from this. Uh, did she see her? Could this be a possibility for her to see as a national leader in the coming election, as a strong national opposition leader for the upcoming election?
These are quick, easy analysis every time there's a election result which doesn't go your way. But why not? I mean, Mamata Banerjee remains, like I said before, remains a formidable political force in Bengal. But if she has to emerge in the national scene as an opposition to BJP under Modi Shah, you'll have to see what kind of coalition sort of she draws up. So these are early days, and today is a momentous day. I think we should all congratulate her. But that remains to be seen. I mean, we draw quick conclusions. I remember in 2018, 2019, I was in Bhopal, and nobody had expected BJP to sort of lose in either Madhya Pradesh or Chhattisgarh. But BJP not only lost Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh, it also lost Rajasthan. So 3 back-to-back states it lost. And momentum was built that BJP is going to 2019. It's going to be the end of BJP. It wasn't. So the moment you have a momentous win, you sort of extrapolate and try to imagine the future. It doesn't always pan out that way, but yeah, why not? I mean, today, for instance, it's an interesting idea to latch on to. That this is the time for Mamata Banerjee to break out of the regional scene to the national scene and emerge as some kind of opposition nationally to Mr. Modi.
Yeah. So, Advocate Neil, this is a question that's come up for you, and I think this is the last thing I'll ask you. Since now the elections are over and the government will be back in action shortly, will the government now address the unemployment issue, which was a big factor before the election?
It was very much within our manifesto that, and we had promised that employment will be given and employment opportunities will come up, will flourish. employment opportunities in both government and non-government sectors, and we are trying for public-private partnerships, so that more employments can be given to the educated youths as well as uneducated skilled workers. And we are trying our level best. We are about to form a state policy regarding employment of both educated people as well as uneducated skilled workers, so that employment opportunity comes up. And I got a great question from, I think, Apurva Kumar Ghosh, and I will obviously, it was within our manifesto, and we will try, and our one of the primary agendas after this COVID situation gets over is to provide for employment, provide for opportunities for the students of Bengal, so that they does not need to leave our country and to be in West Bengal and to get their employment opportunities in West Bengal.
Okay. So I'll end with Dr. Ayush. So a lot of the seats we have seen in this election have been lost by BJP by a very narrow margin, 3,000, a margin between 3,000 to 10,000. So what's your future course of action regarding this? And with the COVID protocols, since you're a doctor, you'll be able to understand that this election was fought amidst the pandemic, and there was a lot of violations with all the parties. And now, since the elections are over, and if you could urge all your cadres to make sure there's no congregation, that would be great as well.
See, Ratnadeep, I am a politician, but I'm a doctor as well. So for me, public health is always paramount. See, it's not only after the elections, but also before the elections. We have been helping people day in and day out. I am from the Bharatiya Janata Yuva Morcha, and we are running a campaign. We are operating BJYM care, and we are we have a helpline number where people can call us. We are helping them day in and day out, and that's what I'm saying. And after these elections, and not only after the elections, before the elections, our major focus was always tackling this COVID-19 pandemic, and we are committed to help the people of Bengal, to help the people of this country to come out from this situation. And regarding congregations, be rest assured that BJP will not do any congregations, because at this point of time, public health is paramount, and we are committed to it. And we assure you that in months to come, see, if you look at the work of the Prime Minister, we have made facilities of adequate oxygen now. There is no oxygen shortage. As of now, at least, there was a oxygen shortage scenario. If you look at the vaccines, in sometimes Sputnik 5 has arrived from Russia, and I think in 7 to 8 days time, you will see that the vaccine shortage will also be reduced. So we are working on a war footing. The Prime Minister whole day was not busy looking at the television, but he was chairing meetings. He was chairing meetings where a variety of decisions were taken. So we are committed to contain this pandemic first. Elections will come and elections will go. But then public life, the life of the people, is of utmost importance, and we are committed to it. That's all what I could say.
Okay. So thank you all for joining here. Before ending it as well, Advocate Neil, if you also would like to encourage your cadres to not congregate for victory marches or celebrations.
Beg your pardon?
If you would like this opportunity to tell your cadres not to congregate outside building, outside the offices, since the COVID protocols are on.
Yes. It is already been conveyed by our honorable Supremo, Srimati Mamata Banerjee, today at 6 in the evening, that we will not be participating in any processions or any victory rallies for the time being because of the COVID situation.
Okay. So thank you all for joining. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
We can work